Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit more serious. As you can tell by the title, I'm basically going to be talking about being black and why I love being black. One thing that really drives me insane is when people try and tell me that I'm not really black, that I act white, or that I talk white. What? That just doesn't make sense to me, and it's honestly extremely offensive to have somebody sit there and say, oh, you're not really black, like you're actually white, or you're an Oreo. Like, excuse me, no, I'm not. I don't know if you saw or not, but last time I checked, I was black. It doesn't matter the way that I speak. It doesn't matter the things that I'm into or the things that I like. It doesn't make me any less black than any other black person on this planet. One of the reasons that I love being black is the fact that I feel like we have this connection. Like, I feel like all black people have this really strong bond and really strong connection with each other, and it's just like we share this common culture, and I love it, and we all can relate to each other, and we all, for the most part, support each other. Lately, in the media, I would have thought this would have been over by now because the Super Bowl was, what, a week ago? Some white people are still so upset over Beyonce's Super Bowl performance. There's nothing wrong with it. There are a lot of people on news outlets and in articles saying that her display was racist and anti-white. And I remember I saw one news report specifically, and this white woman was saying that she was saying that Black Lives Matter more. Excuse me, pause. No, that's not what she was saying. You completely took something and twisted it into your own kind of way to make Beyonce out to be a bad person. Like, she wasn't saying that Black Lives Matter more, and the Black Lives Matter movement is not saying that Black Lives Matter more. When you say all lives matter, the reason that people get so upset over that, it's like, well, duh, we know that all lives matter. But what we're saying is that Black Lives Matter also. Like, in conjunction with all lives matter, just so you know, Black Lives Matter too. It's not any Black Lives Matter more. What kind of sense does that know? I don't know where this idea came from that that's what that means. Like, I'm just so confused and like so blown away with the minds of some of these people. In my personal opinion, I'm not trying to sound like this or anything, like, don't take this the wrong way, because when I refer to white people, I don't mean all white people. I only mean some, or the ones that are racist, bigots, the ones that are against this whole pro-black movement. But my people for centuries have been oppressed, and white people have been on top of the social and economic status. And I just, God, it just upsets me so much that, like, you have some of these white people who are still so racist and still so close-minded. And reverse racism, just let me tell you, reverse racism does not exist. That is not a thing. It is not possible for black people to be racist. They can think that way, but because they don't gain anything from it, there is no point. So therefore, black people cannot be racist. Yes, black people can be prejudiced and black people can be bigots, but black people cannot be racist. So the first thing, reverse racism does not exist. I mean, not that long ago, in the 60s, police officers were turning hoses and dogs on children for protesting to be able to get an equal education. And for what? They were just marching in the streets saying that we want to be equal. People like Martin Luther King, who were being locked up for speaking their mind against racism and other people, and having black people who didn't even speak out, and you'd have people from the KKK going out and lynching them for no reason but the color of their skin, And it just upsets me so much to see that this is still going on and racism does still exist very much. And there's still so much prejudice and bigotry in this world. And for what? What's the point of it? I mean, and with the whole Beyonce thing, like, going back to that, I don't know what it is that was so offensive about her performance. Does it come to a shock to you that Beyonce is actually black? Because I feel like some white people are upset because they were like, dang, I thought Beyonce was on our side. And like, white people love Beyonce, so when they see her when they're seeing her like embrace her blackness so much, they're just like, wait, what? Like, I don't know what to do. And I think too, there's so many people out there who are afraid. They're afraid that because black people are really starting to show that they love themselves and are starting to embrace their culture a lot more and are starting to speak out against the prejudice and the violence and the brutality towards black people, white people are afraid, because when you've been on top for so long and you've had so much for so long, it can be scary to think that one day that might be taken away from you. It's sad because I think a lot of times you see people like Kylie Jenner or the Kardashians, I guess you could say in general, who are praised so much for how big their butts are, and then you have people like Kylie Jenner or other white girls who have big lips, and they're praised so much for that, but for so long my people have been talked down because of it, and it's sad. You know, I just see so much hate on the internet, and it's sad that my mom gets a little bit upset when I post things as controversial as this. Like, mom was like, Asha, are you sure you want to do that? Like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, because I have a right to speak my mind about things I want to speak about, and if people don't like that, oh well. I have lived in a predominantly white area and gone to predominantly white schools for a majority of my life. I currently do live in a predominantly white area. Like, I can't even tell you how many black people live here because it's not a lot. And I do face racism on a daily basis. I've seen it a lot. Just because I live in a nice area doesn't make it any different for me. And I know some people think that, oh, well, you don't know what it's like because you live in such a nice area and you have all of these nice things. And no, that doesn't mean anything. In fact, I think that I see more racism living in a predominantly white area than not living in a predominantly white area. And I remember one time me and my friends were walking down some street, and we like stopped on a corner to be able to cross the street, and there was 4 of us. I was a freshman in high school at the time. I remember it was the day that we got let out. It was a finals week, so I only had like one final that day. This group of grown white men come by in this car, and they like stop in front of us, and they yell niggers like really loud, and we were just like, what? Like, it just didn't make sense to me that grown men would say something to a bunch of little kids. Like, I just didn't understand, and I was like, that's so ridiculous. And they sped off. Like, I didn't know who they were. I've never seen them in my life, but they were grown men. They had to be in their mid-20s. And for them to say such an offensive thing to a group of kids, I just don't understand. When I'm out and about with my mom, my sister, or my parents, or whomever, and I'll be in certain areas with certain things, you know, and I'll get looks from white people like, how can she afford that? How can they afford that? But we can make just as much money as white people and more money than white people. African Americans, black people, whatever you want to say, were enslaved centuries ago and brought over here with nothing. Didn't know how to speak the language, didn't know what they were doing here, scared for their lives, and when they were finally emancipated, they were given nothing. Never received reparations. Never, where's my 40 acres and a mule? Because I believe that with reparations we could be more successful, but unfortunately that never happened. So just think about how sad it is that it doesn't matter how much money I have, it doesn't matter the things that I have, it doesn't matter how many AP classes that I'm taking, or it doesn't matter how high my GPA is, or how high my grades are, or how good of a school I go to, or it doesn't matter if I end up getting into an Ivy League college, and it doesn't matter if I end up becoming the CEO of a company. Like, it doesn't matter, because to certain white people and to certain other types of races, other types of people who are prejudiced, I'm just going to be seen as another nigga, and there's nothing I can do about it. And unfortunately, society has not gotten to the point where we don't see color anymore. But until then, I'm going to keep loving my nappy hair and my wide nose. And so yeah, I know this video is a little bit more serious and not as fun, but that was something, it's been really bothering me, and I've been seeing it everywhere, so I just feel like it needed to be addressed. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.